Yeah.
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining. This is Essence of Life, and today we're talking about near-death experiences. I'm Amanda Armagast.
I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence, and we have a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
I'm M.K. Shastri, visiting professor to Zimbabwe University. I'm working with Dr. I.P. Cherin for last 12 years, and I'm also working with Dr. Kazadi as a chairman. I'm the right now working as a director to International Institute of Neuroscience, Neurosurgery, Orthopedics, and all. And I've been working more likely with neurorehabilitation, and the best part is that I have given 35 years to this subject.
Well, and you had lots of credentials, but I think you are as well bringing a personal story here. It's not just your scientific side and academic side that makes you a good person, expert to talk about this subject, but as well your personal experience. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the most important part I will tell you is that in my 42 years of my life, I spent 6 months in coma,
That is
and
so
I suffered. And it is each coma period was more than 25 to 30 days. Each coma period was GCS 3. The chances of survival was only 2%, maybe vegetative stage. And from that vegetative stage, the moment I am discharged from the ICU, I have joined my duty on the third day
So, what was the
without
background?
being defeated.
What was the medical condition that you went under coma?
It is ARDS, or
Okay.
cardiac arrest, sudden cardiac arrest, because I have a habit of working 24 hours to 72 hours, and I keep pulling to 96 hours. Because once you enjoy one heart attack, you like to enjoy the other one.
You see, I love how you're content. People usually they wallow in
yeah.
their misery when they just want to everybody know they're miserable, but you're turning your serious medical condition to a life experience. You're cherishing being alive. Being alive has many facets, and you're so beautifully are content and cherishing those downside of life. So, but yeah, there are lots of stories there that we are eager to hear. Tell us about this.
What did it
Sir,
feel like?
before going to this video, can I show you a Indian video where you
Yeah.
will see the powerful of the mind? How Indian yogis at 1000 degrees centigrade they have walked to uh, minus 40 degrees centigrade, how they have lived 40 years without food, and it is medically proven. And the videos are made by the Harvard University professor. It is 5 minutes video, and the last photo is of mine, where you will see me on ECMO with 100% ventilation with GCS 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, please share.
Wow. Don't have a sound, but we see somebody in the Himalaya in snow.
Unclosed.
Yeah, uh, or naked, walking with just the underpant. And I can tell
Sir, are
you,
you audible? Sir, are
yes,
you audible?
No, no.
we don't hear the voice, but we are able to see that, which is quite impressive.
1 minute. Sir, this is the oil bomb. He is not able to hear.
So now we see a monk praying in
Yeah.
a cauldron of boiling oil with lit fire underneath.
Yeah, and I can just tell you that these are conditions that
Yes, sir.
are
The
human.
temperature is more than 1000 degrees centigrade.
And he's sweating, but he's not showing any pain or any.
Yeah,
Sign,
no
sign of
pain.
Yeah.
discomfort. Yeah, it does not show any sign of discomfort. That sort of remind me as well of that monk that in Vietnam put himself on fire, just content. That's amazing.
Is it kind of like a ritual? I see there's some other people there.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a ritual.
Mm.
And what is it that they're holding?
Is the monk who's offering prayers.
Okay.
And the temperature right now is more than 1,500 degrees centigrade.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no burn injuries.
Wow. Definitely takes a lot of meditation.
Both of them are very impressive as well. As somebody who lives in Minnesota knows what cold is, and just the idea of when the first monk that is naked under snow in Himalaya, which is
This
extremely
is another Rambhau. You can see he's sitting on the fire, but is not burnt. The temperature is more than 1,000 degrees centigrade. The video was made by a Harvard University professor.
Wow.
Mhm. Very impressive.
So can you hear this video voice?
No, we see the videos, but we have no we have no sound.
He's not hearing
But-
the voice, no sound.
But this is we see that. We see what
He's
is
just-
going
Yeah,
on.
sir.
There.
So you can see his clothes are not burning. Now you see the temperature is more than around 1,000 degrees centigrade. It's a very
Yeah.
heavy fire.
I see a lot. Yeah, definitely a lot of smoke. But yeah, he's not showing
Now
any.
the fire will go to the very high extent.
Yep.
You can see the temperature.
Wow. Now, even as a child, I have heard about this kind of yogis or what are the other names that are attributed to people who have achieved this level of consciousness? What names are you using in India for this kind of?
Now you see the clothes are not burnt, sir. Already the fire is on the cloth. The cloth is not burning.
Even his hair is not burning.
Yes, sir. You can see the hairs are also not burning. Now you can see the fire is totally on his body and there is no burn injury.
Wow. That
Now
is
you can see.
that's
And if you
amazing.
extend the video, you will see the fire is totally on his body and it's not burnt.
Wow. And then he's laying on kind of like a stone or a cement.
Maybe it's a clay.
stairs.
Is a clay fireplace. It's almost like a
Oh yeah. Okay.
made out of clay. Yeah.
I personally witnessed this ritual, sir.
Mm-hmm.
There is no chemical induced in it. If it's a real person, he is only taking 1 glass of milk and 2 bananas a day. That's all. From last 35 years.
Wow. For 35 years, only 2 bananas a day and a glass of milk.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see there is no, his clothes are not burnt, sir.
Very
Wow, that's
impressive.
amazing.
He's just getting up.
So now they are saying what might be his body temperature, and then you can see again he's going the fire.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
So this is a person called Mataji, and he's in the hospital, and he has not eaten food for 50 years, and he has made medical food.
Wow.
Do you know what they're talking about in this clip?
There is a director of the hospital, and they've and he's surviving of without food and water, and he has not passed stool and water for 108 hours.
Wow.
And he has been closely monitored for 15 years. He's a defense scientist.
Okay.
Now, certainly with certain level of consciousness and meditation and so on, you can control your vegetative function in your body and reduce your requirement for energy. But this is truly amazing. How is that even physically possible?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of the people who slow down their heart rate.
So this is me. Is it GCS3 with ECMO and ventilator 100 liters.
Wow.
This is my seventh ICU admission with 25 days.
7th and 25 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I was total GCS3. When I was admitted, I was told my heartbeat was around less than 30 and saturation was less than 9%.
So for people who don't understand the GCS, it's so-called Glasgow Coma Scale. It is a level of bodily function that is here practically standardized way of neurosurgeon or in neurology, how we assess somebody who has an altered mental status. It goes from highest is 15. It is based on how you talk, if you're able to respond with words, if you're able to open the eyes, and if you're able to follow commands. Practically GCS3 means there's no bodily function whatsoever. That is the lowest level of the consciousness or bodily in coma. Practically the lowest number is 3. There is no 0. 3 is the lowest number.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so in this case, my pupil was dilated.
Mm.
They were dilated.
And obviously neurologically dilated pupils are sign of a brainstem actually, that our brainstem is not active. That is the practically at that point, most of people, if it's a sustained injury, that's one of the criteria actually to consider somebody brain dead if the pupils are dilated. I'm sure our viewers have seen that in movies and so on, that they talk about dilated pupil because the dilated pupils are truly a severe sign of brain injury. So,
And yes, sir, please continue, sir.
no, I just wanted you to tell us about now, just before we joined the podcast together, you said you enjoyed your coma.
Yes, sir. It
Let's
was
talk about the
it was
coma. I
such a
want-
beautiful life. If you ask me, Sastriji, what is the next thing I would like to go? I'll say, you put me back to coma. I like to go back to ventilator. You put saccharine and all medication, and you put me on ventilator. Even I enjoy these days. Usually, I take around after every 6 months, I go on mechanical ventilation. I go to my friend's ICU. They put me on coma stage. They put on syringe pump, ventilator, and with ventilator, I'm on coma for 6, 7 days, and I enjoy that part. I do those things even now. So if you see that, uh, I love to go to coma again and again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So one thing you said is that you enjoyed 7 heart attacks. Can you tell us a little bit about like what it felt, how you felt when you had your first heart attack?
Because I think our subject is near death experience. So yeah, please, I want to know that too.
Yeah, so the question was that when my first heart attack was there, I was in the hospital and I was doing non-invasive brain stimulation, and I was continuously doing it for 48 hours. So suddenly I had a chest pain and I singed. I fell down on the floor and I went unconscious. And then I saw people are giving me CPR, they are giving noradrenaline, and I was able to see. And suddenly a light appeared, and involved in that white light. And then it took me to a beautiful place which I have never seen in my life. And it was like a beautiful fragrance. And so many people, so many divine things were there. I felt that it is no use of going. But after 10 minutes, a person appears in a very divine light. He says, you have to go back. The duty is not over. And he says, please go. You have enjoyed this. We wanted you to show this. You have seen it. Now the body has not finished your time. You please go. And when I come back and I see after 2 days, I'm discharged with everything okay. and you see the heart is flat, shock is not working. And after 5 minutes, when they declared me death, I come back to life.
Wow. So when you said that you saw people giving you CPR, were you seeing that from like a heightened state? Like you
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. And after that, I've gone to the white light. I've
okay.
seen the people and I have heard them giving me noradrenaline, dopamine. I have heard all these things. And even I have seen the flat line and they have declared me death. When I heard that I am death, I should, and suddenly a white light appeared. A tunnel appeared and I went inside that tunnel. Automatically, you are attracted to a tunnel and there is a white light. And that white light is such a beautiful light. And then you go to a beautiful fragrance which you cannot express. And then there is a divine everything, a divine music, a divine rhythm. And then you feel everything is so peaceful, so you feel that the entire cosmos of the world is inside you. And then you realize that you have lived a mundane activities of the world. Now we see, when I come back, I always see what we are living, and when we are dying, I see death is better than life because it's real enjoyment. It's such a big enjoyment which I felt that I always feel. If you send me to coma, uh, I'll raise my hand, sir. Please send me to coma right now.
I've
Because
heard that a lot. I've read a lot about near death experiences. I think I have like 2 or 3 books, like physical books about it. And most of the people that I've read about having these experiences say the same thing, that if they could, they would like to go back. They actually had a hard time coming back to Earth, or like coming
yeah,
back.
right.
Is that how you felt?
Yeah.
But
Because
I
the
can,
world is so nice there. The beauty of that world is so nice. Actually, everything what we have written in the books
Mm.
about the after death experience, I believe 70% is wrongly depicted.
Interesting.
The life after death is very beautiful. You enjoy that life so much that you don't want to come back to life.
I believe that really.
No, I can tell that most of people live their life being scared of death.
Yeah.
I think many horrible things happen in our lives because we are so scared of the end of life, which is the death. And I think what you guys are describing, this near death experience and the beautiful feeling that it comes, that that's there's something afterward that's give you the confidence that you will be taken care of. That can, once you remove the fear of death, I think you can live so truly freely. That's truly amazing.
The most important part is that you meet so many nice prophets and so many nice people. You have a very divine conversation. I remember after my this heart attack, when my GCS was 2 or 3, and already it was declared that I'll be on the vegetative stage because my saturation on admission was 9. It was not 95 or 96 or 85. My oxygen level was 9, and my lung was totally prolapsed. I was on ECMO for 7 or 9 days, and I was already on neuroblockers, neuromuscular blocker, fentanyl, metazonam, and there were 6 syringe pumps were induced in me, and noradrenaline was given after every half an hour. And those conversations I can see, I have seen that. And again, I have gone to the white light. It was like a journey coming back. And then I was thinking I should go back there. And then again, I said, no, I requested that white light. I want to go back out. So I got chance. I could have come out from coma in 5 days also. But that white light was so attractive that I said, I want to enjoy that white light than this mundane activities of the world. And I requested the person who was there with me, was my mentor. I said, sir, please let me spend some more time. He said, okay, but you have to go back. That is the promise you have to give me. I said, okay, but let me enjoy my word with you. And each time I found the same person. Yeah. And then the most important thing he narrated me about Quran was Allah has created everything for you. You did not enjoy it. Now you see, Allah has taken care of you on this earth also and after your life also. You see the beauty of Allah. Now you see, you want to go back to life? He asked me. I said, no, you just criminate my body. I don't want to go back. This is something which I don't want. But then he said, you have to work for the world. You have to work for the deficits. And then, I was inspired to work on non-invasive brain stimulation. Suddenly a person came and he told me, by inserting needles here, he taught me what is brain mapping. And imagine, when I came out of coma, I understood what is brain mapping. I've learned so many things in coma that without being a spine surgeon and a neurosurgeon, I can perform surgeries.
Now,
So
when
every
was the
coma
last
period
time?
was
Apologize.
every.
When was the last time you had this experience? When was it? Like in years or months?
It is just 9 months back, sir. You
Nine
can see
months.
the
Very
tracheostomy over
recent.
here. You
Wow,
can see
very
the tracheostomy,
Yeah, we do
yeah.
actually. Yeah,
Wow.
we do. Now, I
and here
can
you can
just.
see a central line over here and
Mhm.
center line over here.
Yeah, we do
Wow.
see that. Yeah. Now, considering that you are so short after this near-death experience, I love your energy and your vitalism, I would call
Yeah,
it.
very
So,
violent.
I would say most of people after a traumatic experience, they're just struggling to get over it, whereas you have accepted it so beautifully. And not only that, I think you're giving a lots of people a reason and a motivation to just be content, accept if they are in a bad medical situation, and that accept that even in that kind of situation, you can be vital, you can be positive, you can be you overcome the disease practically with this
True.
attitude. Mind over power. It doesn't become more obvious than this.
So true.
Yes, sir. In geriatric care and in cancer care, I am a counselor. So whenever people are about to die, they call me as a spiritual teacher in India. So I'm called as Swamiji.
Rightfully.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah, because
imagine if my family member was
yeah,
in class, there's no one I would rather that they talk to than someone like you who's experienced it, because I think that that would give the family a lot of peace, knowing even when their loved one does pass away, they'll still be in a really good place.
Let's talk about
yeah,
why are
and
people scared of death. I think that is kind of the counterpoint to this what we consider death to be these horrific things that ends everything. I mean, obviously, culture is a cultural thing as well. But why are people so scared of death?
Were you afraid of death before your experiences?
no, death is nothing. It's a death of ego only.
Yeah, true.
There is nothing. Only there is a death of ego. We always correct all gluttons in our mind. We think all this is ours. But when we see the beautiful world of the other side, you understand this is nothing. We are just wasting our time.
Hmm.
If we use this time for the prosperity of what is written in Quran, I tell you, sir, and honestly, I've written a book, my 8th heart attack, and I'm preparing myself for the 12th heart attack.
You've written a book?
Yeah,
What's your
I'm very sure. I'm very sure I'm going to have 9th heart attack after maybe 3 or 4 months.
Oh no. What makes you say that?
Because already I have experienced cardiac arrhythmia and all I've experienced. And you can understand that maybe after 3 or 4 months, you get that experience that yes, after 4 months, already in divine way, you will know that you are going to have a heart attack after 4 months. And again, I'm going to come back. And I tell you, sir, I really enjoy my heart attacks. And I want that every sometime I should go to ARDS, I should go to a heart attack, I should go to coma. And when you come out from coma, you really enjoy the ICU. Wow. It's like a five-star hotel.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could bottle your attitude in small little bottles, replicate it, and just go to any random hospital in the United States and just give it to.
Oh my gosh. If you could put
If
it in
you
a
could take that
perfume bottle and
attitude,
spray it.
yeah, if you could just take that attitude, imagine how much, this, anything at the end of the day is our attitude toward things that makes our environment, our life.
Oh, I say that all the time.
Yeah, and imagine if you could have this kind of attitude toward your disease, toward your down, what we consider here invest the downside of life, disease, death, misfortune, and so on. But I think you are lucky to come from a culture that this culture cherish all ups and downs of life. I think that I do believe that that's a lot to do with the Hinduism, Buddhism background of the culture that
Sir, it is more about the background from Quran. It is more because I've written a book on neurobiology of Allahu. So there is a Sai Imam who asked me, "What do you understand by Allah?" So when I was after death, the Prophet asked me, "You may go about the story of Meher Baba. He's a very big saint in India. You will see in Google. So you can YouTube him."
no,
So I
tell
met
us the
someone like,
story. I want to hear that story.
yeah,
Tell us the
yeah.
story.
There's a book of Sounds of Silence. That book I read, and that after that they came back to the contact of his mother, and that the mother has contacted with their their family members, and he told them there is a ring, there is this, there is this, there is this, and then he brought them in touch with Meher Baba. So when I went in this contact, I also was brought to one saint like him, and I had a conversation one to one. I remember that conversation very well. So he asked me, "What do you understand by Allah? How do you define Allah?" That was the question he asked me. And then I said, for a while, I also remembered that word and the divine experience, having that conversation with him. I asked him, "Who are you?" He said to me, "Whom do you think I am?" I said, "I think you are someone whom I cannot define. Because definition is given to a person which can be defined. I think you are not a definition." So he asked me, "Now what do you mean by Allah?" I said, "There is no prefix and there is no suffix. Allah only knows what He is. The one who has created the entire cosmos, who takes care of even me after death, who is so much bothered about my body also, and is making me enjoying my body as well as my death. I've enjoyed two things at the same time. I have seen my death also. I have seen my life also. And I have seen my post recovery also. Now, if you see, I was the same person who used to enjoy 17 cars. I had a luxury of my life. And now I enjoy with only one shirt and pant. It has changed my way of thinking of life. It has made me work like 96 hours. I can work continuously, 108 hours if you make me work. I don't feel to sleep. Even if you give me 2 doses of fentanyl and 2 doses, if you compound with cocktail, and you will see it does not affect my body. You give me propofol combined with fentanyl, metazolam, socolin, and after 20 minutes, you will see I'm walking up and I'm doing my work without any indigenous hallucination, nothing. I'm perfectly talking to you.
Yep. I think we know of lots of people who can truly control their bodily function, and
Like we saw earlier.
yeah, and as well, no, but as well in the many other ways that that one in the truth to be told, what you're describing is for Western audience is something that we are not used to,
Yeah.
because we thinks that the solution for everything is a medication, is a procedure, is a we are so practically slaved to our technology that we don't know how to live without it or how to do without it. But then we see that all of a sudden there are people, especially in other cultures, especially when they don't have access to all this technology, that they can control their blood pressure, they control their blood sugar. And this is truly something that we have shown that we here in West, we consider it impossible. I mean, how can you control your own blood pressure? But they have done those studies here by right
Yes, sir.
amount of
Yeah, even I will show you my eyes. I have also brought my heartbeat to 18 or 20.
Wow.
yeah, that is
Just
something that
by controlling your breathing, At certain moments of life, you will have influence and you can control it. And at that time, a divine light will appear to you and you just become unconscious. We call it samadhi. And then again, you have a conversation with the divine people. And that conversation is very beautiful. I have written those notes with you that are we living life for what purpose? The purpose of living life is to go to a better life. And what we have done, we have involved ourselves so much in our material world that we forgot the purpose of life is to give a better life to ourselves. We have become external more than internal.
Now, I
We
would like
found
to
happiness
ask you,
outside.
yeah, I would like to ask you when you have this, you say you're looking forward to this divine conversation. If it's not too personal, can you describe to me how that divine conversation sounded? How was that? What was the subject? What was the conversation of that divine conversation?
Yes, sir.
Describe it.
It was a very because when I went to the white light, first came the black light. I crossed the tunnel, and then appeared a white light. So when white light came to me, I was suddenly absorbed in that white light, and then it moved to me a new person, and that person he suddenly appeared with me. And before that, it was a very beautiful fragrance. I've never smelled that fragrance. Such a beauty it was. I cannot express in any words. The beauty cannot be expressed. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So I say that if you want to enjoy, you have to go to Coma and enjoy that beauty. There is no second way of enjoying it. But when you ask about the conversation, so the first thing he asked me, what do you understand by Allah? I said, it's a sound. It's a sound which makes you from external to internal. And then it gives you a path to internal journey. That part he explained to me. So when you keep sounding and you become silent, your breathing will go inside you and you will not breathe externally. And then when you breathe internally, you will find the real joy is your life. We found joy in things, but the joy is inside. That is what he explained to me. When I said him, you are sending me back to the body after enjoying this. Can I adjust with the outside world? You said that yes, you will find so many people, so many good friends that post coma also you will enjoy. I said, how is that possible? Because I am an orphan. My mother, father has died. My brother, sister has left me. If I am sick, no one is there to take care. But out of the way, I tell you one experience, personal experience. I have been taken care by these people because sometimes I have an episode of vomiting, 51 episodes of vomiting, and I find someone is taking care next to me. When I'm in coma, when they are doing tracheostomy, and then I feel the pain of the tracheostomy. And when they are doing suction, the pain is very bad of the suction. They go really deep inside and it is very bad. But then suddenly, when I feel the pain, I say, ah, and I remember that soul, and the pain is gone. And then I start laughing. I say, you do whatever you like. I don't bother. The nurses were offended that we are doing suction. Instead of shouting and abusing, you are laughing. And they called a psychiatrist to give me some Lonajep and all because they think that I become mad. Because when you do suctioning, and you start writing and you start prescribing medicines after coming out of coma. You started doing your OPD from your chair, coma bed, and they're asking me whether I am well oriented. I can diagnose the patient. I said, okay, you take me to a wheelchair and I can diagnose a patient. They took me to wheelchairs. I was in full conscious. I was writing. In tracheostomy period, I was writing, and they said that this boy is mad. And then they asked me, the other out of curiosity, he asked me, what did you see? I told him all the drugs which you have given me. He was amazed. He was saying, how do you know we have given you noradrenaline half hourly? We have given you dopamine. We have given you fentanyl. We have given you metazolam. We have given you saccharine. And you have given me 2 hourly saccharine. At GCS3, how do you know this? I said, I have seen that. I have seen you were the one you gave me bradycardia. You were the one you gave me this. You were the one you gave me this one. And after coming out of coma, I said, I know all of you. And in the hospital, when I go here again, I said that I'm coming back with bradycardia. Don't worry. You will be the one to take me over. They said, my God, this is the first person because I was the rarest person to survive in this stage. Because after going to ECMO, people don't come out from the vegetative stage because the saturation is 9%. You can understand it as a hypoxic insult. There is no way coming out. The heartbeat is hardly 20 at that time or 18. That means it is a near death. Almost you are dead.
Now, in
And
this,
from
what we
there,
call, I apologize, in this, what we call out of body experience. Now, were you in one place watching it? Were you floating? How were you experiencing others and yourself when you had this out of body experience?
so actually, when they were doing so many experiences, I did not feel any pain. I was out of my body and I was seeing my heartbeat is 20 because they were saying me GCS3. And I could recall Dr. Mithilesh was saying like this. The head of the department was counseling me. And the people called up my relatives and they said, you want to see him for the last time? You may come. Tomorrow he may die. Every day, after every 2 hours, the critical care doctor was saying, we cannot say anything about him. After 2 hours, he may die. We are putting him on ECMO. After 5 days, we'll remove the ECMO. If he comes out, okay, or we'll remove ventilator and he will die. Because for 9 days, I'm on GCS3. There is no sign of pain, no sign of improvement. And it was like I'm coming, I'm seeing my body, and I'm again going back.
Wow.
So it was like coming, coming, going. And after that, I experienced them that you told like this, you told like this. Then they were saying, I don't understand. He's a mad boy. He was not in coma. Then they say, let us close this topic. He is all right. Just discharge him after 29 days. We have no use of keeping him. Otherwise, he will make us mad. Because at GCS3, how can you tell me what are the drugs we gave you?
Yeah.
So you
The
were
doses of the drug.
you were in a coma for you've been in multiple comas, but one of your comas was 22 days long, correct?
This last coma was for 25 days. Before
25.
that, 35 days. Before that, 45 days. One coma was 60 days.
When you're in a coma, were you able to like hear anything from the people around you, see anything? What was that like, or was each coma different?
Each coma experience was the same thing. I was out of my body because there was very severe pain when they put this injection, this central line and all. The moment they put this saccholin, when there's a neuromuscular block, or they give fentanyl and high dose of metazolom, you go to that stage. So at that stage, when I went, suddenly I saw the white light. And then they said, I heard saying them, oh, his pulse is 18. We may say he's a tender, he will die after some time. So we should wait till his death. And then I told them, this was the nurse who told me, sir, we should stop his oxygen and we should declare him death. And I said, you and Stephen, you told me like this, na? Then they said, sir, how do you know? How did you hear? Because you were on papers, you were GCS4, and now you're saying my name. And every time I experience a beautiful life, and that is why I say, what we see on this earth is different, and what you see in the other world is different. And when you go to the other world, it's more beautiful than this world. I always say, people, you live a beautiful life in this earth, and I tell you, Allah will take care of you in that world. He is so much bothered about you, is so nice with you, is so careful with you that you will love to die.
So
Once you go to coma, you will understand. The first thing people ask me, what do you say? I say, I love to die, or I like to go to coma.
So, how was the transition once you come out of coma or regain what we call consciousness? In
I
the
enjoyed, sir.
I would say, 55 minutes to half an hour. Can you describe what you felt when you were coming back out of coma and near-death experience? What do you remember?
And I came out of coma. It was a blurred vision. The vision was totally blurred because I'm a high myopic patient having -10. But the first thing I asked them, because I was on tracheostomy, I asked them, give me glasses.
That's interesting. That's the
And
first
then I said, First thing I said, I want glasses like this.
Mm.
And then I saw my hands because I was afraid. I'm on, because I heard the voice that I'll be vegetative. My hands and leg will not be working. The first thing I saw, my hands are working or not, because I was worried about my practice. So first
Mm.
thing I saw, my hands are moving. Then I touched my nose, and then I touched all this uh, neurological signs. I said, see, and give me a pen. I saw the other photos. You see, I am writing, and every day I was writing, and I was diagnosing the patient. I was prescribing medicines, and
Wow.
then I said, and then the most important part, every time I come out of coma, because after coming from Karat, again I had a heart attack. Recently, when I met IP Cherry and I came back, I was again for 4 days in coma. And after every coma, I find a very good person in my life. And this was, I was happy that this coma brought you in my life. So, so in coma, I meet another angels. After coma, I meet people like you. So if you tell me, and if you, I have written a book that if coma is so beautiful, I should always go in. After every 2 months, I should have one heart attack. Because you meet IP Cherian, you meet Hamid Abbasi. Because of these 7 heart attacks, I'm meeting you. So now, if you ask me, what is my experience? I would say it is the same experience like talking to you and talking to him. And the most beautiful part, I always say this people, don't be afraid of anything. Don't be have a fear of losing everything. The one who is Allah, He takes care of everything. That is why He's called Allah. You do whatever you want, but He will take care of you.
And
Well,
that
first, you have to live a good life in this world. Don't harm anyone. And the other world is more beautiful. You should be prepared for going to other world because that world is wants to welcome you, and you will see it's so beautiful, so joyful. So then, so at that time, I also enjoyed one thing. I wanted to see US, right? I, I wanted to go to Chicago. So I said, okay. I told that saint, I want to go to Chicago. You go. I have seen some places there, and I memorized some spellings, and I memorized certain hospitals and some spaces. And then when I came back, I asked them to give me mobile, and I'm touching my mobile and seeing whether these places really existed or not. And the time I said, in this day, what was my coma status? They said it was GCS 4. The day when I was in Chicago, I remember the date, and I asked them on writing, can you see me the case diary? I'm the head of the department of this medical college. Can I see my case diary? It is not allowed to be seen. But the nurse said, okay, you can see. And then I saw on that day I was on GCS 4. And when I saw on YouTube the tube that these places really existed, which I did not see. And then I saw Germany, I saw people doing various activities. And then again I went to the world. And then the person asked me, what did you realize? I said, life is beautiful both on earth and on the other side. If we live this life beautifully, the other life is also beautiful. If we may live this life in a negative way, other life is also negative. Because you don't enjoy. Even if you get a beautiful world, you will not enjoy. Like today, we have everything, but we want to grab everything. So we don't enjoy this life. There is nothing for not enjoyment. I don't find a reason we don't enjoy. Why can't we enjoy this life what we have? And similarly, when you die, you go to the other world. The mind is there. The body has gone. The mind is there. The pleasure is there. The memories are there. So when you go to that world, you also don't enjoy that world because you did not enjoy this world. So enjoyment is inside. So when you enjoy this world, I am definitely sure, sir, you'll enjoy the other world. And I tell you, when you go to other world, you will say that this is what you really wanted for life. You dreamt for this. And the people over there are so nice. The prophets, the people. I remember there was one prophet, Meher Baba, and another more saint from Iran. There was one saint, I forgot, Rumi.
Yeah. Well, I wish that everybody in their life can come to this level of consciousness that death is nothing to be afraid of, and I think that will help a lot of
I just like to narrate one thing. I asked Rumi one question. When did you hate Allah? That was my question, because mind is working after that also. She said, I love Allah so much that I don't have time to hate him. I said, can you explain me in my language? He said, Allah loved this Satan so much, the devil so much. He was not comfortable here. So he gave him his own world to be happy. He cared for the devil also. He cared for the Satan also. So you can see his love for devil also, and you can see his love for you. You see, you are in so much pain in the body. But you see, we have brought you here so that you can enjoy your world. And when the time comes, you go back to your world and you have no pain. I tell you, sir, post tracheostomy also I have no pain. And tracheostomy also I had no pain. They used to put lot of injections. I used to only laugh. And all that period, I used to see one person standing next to me and always doing like this. Nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. And always tears used to come down my eyes. I used to say, I am an orphan. And that person used to say, till I am with you, how you can be orphan? And imagine, my bill was more than $100,000. So it was a heavy bill, but it was considered. I got 50% discount and I had that money. And he said, you don't worry, everything is arranged. From your discharge to your work, I've arranged everything. And the last thing he told me before going, you will meet so many nice people in this world. And every heart attack, you will meet a good person. So I thought this, after Karat, when Farah came, he said, Ahmed Abbasi would like to talk to you. And then I saw your neurosurgeries. I don't know how to talk to you. But then I said to that saint, who I believe my mentor, can you do something by which Hamid Abbasi charges so much money? I don't have any money to be his fellow. How can I learn from Hamid Abbasi? He tell me, you don't worry. Hamid Abbasi will talk to you and you will get free fellowship. You will work in his neuro rehab center. You can work, you will learn, and he will not charge you anything. And I said him, how is this possible? His fellowship is $150,000. I don't see that money in my life. He said, just wait for 5 days. It was a conversation 6 days back with me. Before I spoke to Hamda, the link, he said, just wait for 5 days. You will speak to Hamid Awasi. And then again he told me that you will visit, you will meet him. I said, how to meet him? Then Miss Bacon came. Then I came to know you are coming. I am your host. I'll be going with you in Pune. I'll have time with you in Pune. And then I was saying, what is the benefit? He said, the world will be benefited with your meeting. Every meeting in this world is divine. Everything what is happening is pre-planned by Allah. Nothing is overwritten. Everything is pre-written in your life. You
And
cannot think.
certainly privileged to be there next week
Totally.
and immerse in this very rich culture that create this level of consciousness that you walk on fire, you are cold, you in the cold, but you don't feel the cold. You're hungry, but you're able to control your bodily function. There's kind of
Sir, we can make one experiment also. I'll bring 3 ampoules of fentanyl. You can inject on IV and you can see on me.
I think I stay away from that. I think I stay. I could lose my medical license in the United States for
I
that.
actually before
No, you don't need to do it. I'll use my medical license and I'll inject myself and you can check out.
Well,
I have a question before we end. I have a question. It's a little bit off topic. With your experiences of near death experience or death experience or anything like that, have you ever considered the possibility of us having past lives or like humans living multiple lives throughout a type of our soul living through
reincarnation? Are you talking about
reincarnation,
reincarnation?
but with the same soul?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I have also seen, not only in this, I have written books on that. Especially, I was inspired from some Harvard University professor. I can take people in hypnotize and I can go to their previous life and then their previous life. And then in my also part, I have seen my previous life. I was a Buddhist monk. Then before I was a surgeon. So that is why before that I was a true Catholic Christian. So when I came to this life, I was behaving like a Catholic priest when I was in Africa. I don't know how I learned all these things. And then before that, I was a true Muslim guy. And I was a very close associate with a Sufi saint who came all the way from Iran to India. It's called Nijamuddin Aulia.
Okay. Wow,
So
it's
he came from
very
Iran
amazing
here.
story. It's very amazing story. Unfortunately, our podcast time is closing to the end.
Yeah, but maybe when we're in
But
India, you can hypnotize me.
sir, but I have one humble request. You have been always kind to so many people, and your kindness is just like angelic kindness. No one can. I always see the same prophet smile, what I see in your smile. So most humbly, with deepest gratitude, I most humbly request you to accept me, your fellow. But I have nothing to pay you, sir.
It would be my honor. That would be my honor. Now, it is, we are very excited to be there soon. I know this conversation will continue, but unfortunately, our podcast time is closing to an end. So,
Sir,
but we
may I
have a
request for
lot more
the recording of
stories.
the podcast recording? And before I leave this podcast, I tell the world, please enjoy this life and enjoy more after death.
Thank you
There's
so much.
nothing to be fear of death. You should be happy for that. When the death period comes, you should be very, very happy because you are going to the most beautiful world and you are going to really enjoy it.
Most beautiful closing and an encouraging word.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us from beautiful India.
And thank you guys all for watching. I'm Amanda Armagast.
I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence and our special guest.
M.K. Shastri, visiting professor with Dr. Kazadi and IP Cherian. And I request you if I can get the recording of this podcast as my memory with Hamid Abbasi sir. And we are very happy. Please take one photograph over there of our three in this podcast so that I can keep it as a memory in my room.
We're going to take 100 photographs.
Thank you. You have a good day now. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'll see you
Thank you
next
so
week.
much.